This week on It's Happening Out. Why does God hate gays?
Pride flag, as we mentioned, outside the offices of the Jerusalem chief rabbinate.
Exposed superhero drops his pants. TripAdvisor claps back at straight pride. Will and Grace quit before Trump re-election. It's all happening out tonight. Join us on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. With our host panel, lifestyle expert Napoleon plays, trans activist Aaron Phoenix, president of Gays for Trump Andrew Brett, reality star Chef Josie, DJ Diva Power Infiniti, DC Log Cabin Republican Joe Brookman, and our moderator Al Ferguson. It all starts right now, live on It's Happening Out.
Yeah. Well, good evening, America. We're so thrilled that you're with us on this special episode of It's Happening Out, America's most popular live gay talk show. Kellyanne, thank you very much from the bottom of my heart. I've just learned that you had a secret mission. We'll talk about that in a moment. First off, we're live, and of course, we remind you It's Happening Out. Live means there are complications. We are like The View. I constantly tell my friends this. We're like The View, only with a lot less testosterone.
I'm not blonde and fat.
Yeah, all right. Well, a lot less. I want to thank, right at the top of the show, you saw that embracement of Kellyanne in the basement. We'll probably come back to her often. We tell you that we're very excited about Kellyanne's opening of the show because we're happy to announce that we have selected a new permanent host, and that is the president of Gays for Trump, Andrew Brett. Congratulations, Andrew.
Andrew, welcome.
For being with us tonight. I want to thank your clapping. Nancy Pelosi clap, right?
The one of all time.
And that clap came from the very famous powder indefinitely, as President Trump referred to it. We congratulate Andrew's addition, and we thank you very much for joining us tonight. 531,000 of you watched us last week, and we appreciate that. Yes. And this, since we started our first broadcast on September 20th, 2018, tonight is our 45th show.
President Trump, number 45.
Yeah,
Yes.
Number 45.
Wow.
And we draw attention to that very auspicious number. Yes, exactly. America, we remind you we're coming from Wilton Manors, Fort Lauderdale, Florida. We affectionately call it the gayest place on planet Earth. You can see Wilton Drive and the sunset of our daylight here in South Florida. And we're coming from the great and amazing restaurant of Bubbles and Pearls from Chef Josie from Top Chef. And we thank our host, Bubbles and Pearls, Chef Josie. You're hosting us one more time.
No, I was just trying to...
We haven't worn out our welcome?
Oh, not yet.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
You're
All
working hard on it, though. Don't worry.
Exactly. We also want to thank one of our principal sponsors, and that is the Big Coconut Guest House here in South Florida. If you want to come to a fun, clothing optional guest house, the Big Coconut is there. Power is staying there. Aaron is staying there. They're naked all of the time, I hear. I've read the complaints online.
Aaron, my big coconuts out all over the place.
Exactly. All right. We remind you, America, we're a live show. If we miss something, It's live, and you get to see it completely. We invite you to like us on Facebook and share us in YouTube. Start a watch party. If you like the content that you're going to see tonight, share a watch party with us. And in fact, Napoleon has helped us in helping you understand how to do a watch party. Watch this.
When viewing our live show in your app, please click share. After clicking share, your screen should change and you can then click watch party. On the next screen, you can write text to your viewing audience and then click start watch party. You've done it. Enjoy your party.
Okay, America, it's as simple as that. If you like the content and you think that we're valuable in terms of what we talk about in propelling the gay community, the number one thing you can do is to share us and to like us and to start a watch party. So, everybody all set? We're ready to jump into the show? Here's the show tonight, July 31st, 2019. We always begin our show with the meme of the week. And in honor of Chef Josie and Bubbles and Pearls, we found an interesting meme about the girls. Here's the meme.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Gay guys are like, he's cute, but 10 miles away, never going to happen. Gay women are like, I'll just escape from Russia and sail to Canada to meet this chick. No problem. Doesn't that summarize the difference in the gay community between men and women? Of course it does. Yep.
Yeah, you know the ladies put the work in, you know?
Yeah.
I mean.
But they just need to do it the once. We've got to do it every night.
That's
It's
right.
like,
Al, you
different.
forgot the U-Haul.
Yeah. All right. We move from our meme to the best thing of the week. And this week, we have a gift. You saw Bernie Sanders at the debate last night? Well, there's a great new gift about it. And we're going to do a little talk over about Donald Trump and Bernie Sanders. As we watch this, I'm going to talk over it. Here's what happens when Donald Trump steals Bernie Sanders' French fries. And Donald gets scared. Oh, Donald. I didn't realize that the 70-some-year-old against the others. Watch this. Bernie scares Donald. It's absolutely the best thing of the week as the Secret Service gets between the two of them. So that's the best thing of the week. Bernie Sanders and Donald Trump battling 70-year-olds this week. Next, we want to show you something that happened from last week's show. And this was kind of a topical issue that happened with Aaron. And everybody has heard the phrase PTSD. And it's called post-traumatic stress disorder. And we didn't know until what happened last week that Aaron suffers from a certain version of PTSD. To begin with this, we're showing you a slide here about the disorder and how you can be affected even when you're among friends that you know you're safe around. It can still happen, PTSD. And let us show you a little clip of what happened last week in the show that caused an incident for Aaron. Watch this. And I point out, that's exactly what the Republicans want.
You just agreed with
The election is critical.
me. And he has every right to do that. That's why.
Okay.
That is why we're elected.
Please
give me the last 15 seconds that you gave to this child.
Go ahead.
But
it
right
will
now,
change.
what it is, or
Let him
excuse
finish.
me,
We're
right now,
moving
what
on.
it is what it is. And so what you said last week was false. It wasn't facts. It was your opinion. You are, of course, entitled to your opinion. You're not entitled to your own set of facts. Thank you.
Well, they don't
I-
care, though.
I
They don't
apologize.
care.
Thank you.
I said
Thank
it would
you.
be 5-4.
Thank you.
Okay.
I said it would be
Thank
5-4.
you.
All right.
Thank you.
5-4.
When it happens, it hasn't happened yet. So right now,
5-4.
this is the
Stop.
fact.
Andrew.
5-4.
Fight
Andrew.
before my ass. Right now,
Andrew.
you can burn all the flags. you
Okay,
motherfucking
and
know.
moving on to the next. Moving
I'm
on to
asking
the
you,
next.
let's stop.
Yeah, let's go
stop.
on. Go
Okay.
ahead, Al. Do
All
it
right.
on.
Well, while we were debating and arguing the issues of that topic that we were doing, you can see in Aaron's face that there was a moment. And when we talked about it later, what came out in description was a situation that Aaron revealed to the host and to production for the first time, which is an issue of PTSD. And Aaron, after you revealed that, we wanted to have a moment of discussion about it. Kind of explain to us what you were going through.
Yeah, so I mean, PTSD, it's not, a lot of times I use humor to kind of deal with that. And I kind of throw it away as a joke. It's not a joke. Basically, the long and short is PTSD is where you kind of go into fight or flight mode when you're triggered by certain things, when it's not necessary to be in that fight or flight mode. And basically, that's what happened last week. Yelling, a lot of people yelling over each other is a big trigger for me. Surprise, surprise. So it got to a point where I was in shutdown mode. And which is unlike me. I usually you can't shut me up. But I really wanted to just kind of roll over it and make it not a big thing. But it's a thing. It's something that I have to be open with my loved ones, my friends, my family here. I have to be open about what PTSD does to me, what it can do to me, and just make people in my life aware. Because if I end up in that crisis mode and the people around me don't know what's happening, it can lead to something really terrible.
It's interesting to me. We wanted to take a moment to discuss this moment from last week's show because, frankly, it caught me and production by surprise that you would suffer from this situation. We have seen you vigorously get involved in conversation before, and it's an indication that all of us have to be much more sensitive to mental health issues.
Well, and here's
triggers
the thing, too.
and statements.
It's not everybody else's responsibility to make me not anxious. Everybody doesn't have to tiptoe around me and make me feel good and make me comfortable. It's a matter of just being aware and making sure that I'm responsible enough with myself and my health to make sure the people around me know what to do as far as my safety. And as much as we are all advocates for mental illness awareness, I'm a person living with a mental illness, and it's just disingenuous to talk about if you need help, who to call, and not discuss, what it does in my own life.
Well, we appreciate, unless anybody else has anything else.
Yeah, I have something to say. Well, I'm the type of person. I'm the same bitch that used to fight in church. Really, I really don't give a damn. When I get into a scuffle with somebody, I really don't give a damn. Usually, how it affects other people, I give zero fucks. However, I will say that when it comes to my friends, my loved ones, I am very sensitive to that. So I apologize.
And,
I apologize.
And please don't. You know what I mean? Don't apologize and don't stifle yourself.
Well, no, it's not about stifling myself. I mean, obviously at this table, we're going to get into heated debates. We're going to get into passionate discussions. But last week was a little bit different. So, and I could understand how something like that could definitely trigger. So I think that what you said, well, it's not our job to tiptoe around you. But at the same time, we have to act with decorum. And something like that, it is our job to make sure that we conduct ourselves a little better.
Well, and to that point, we wanted to take just a moment to draw attention to this. That's what caught us by surprise. PTSD is a real thing. Mental health issues are a real thing, and that's why we wanted to take a moment.
It doesn't just stand for me being perfectly
I'm gonna move on.
talented at sucking dick.
I'm going to move on.
PTSD.
Apparently, I can't move on.
Tipper Gore was the one that brought this out of the closet years and years ago. And because of that, mental health issues have been to the forefront, and we support you, Aaron, and whatever we can do to help you, we're here for you.
Aaron, we thank you for allowing us the opportunity to talk about this. We're going to move into a game that we frequently start at the front end of the show called I'd Swallow That. I repeatedly say it's one of my favorite things to do here. The best way, being the ringmaster, to deal with the tigers and the lions with my whip and my chair is to drink. And so we start right from the beginning with I'd Swallow That. We encourage you to do that at home. We participate. We give a shout out to Live Proud Vodka. And we're going to do vodka shots here tonight and 3 questions.
Hopefully
the hosts do not know the questions I'm going to ask. It's an agree or disagree game, and we encourage you to play with us at home. Whether it's water, whatever you play with, we encourage you to do it. Everybody ready? I'd swallow that?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, here we go.
Time.
Question 1, I'd swallow that. I've regretted having a fantasy come true.
Oh my God, I'm not drinking again this week.
Aaron, the fantasy was, oh, that's good.
Ooh.
Breathe,
A
honey,
particular threesome came to mind where it was just not nearly as good as I thought it was.
Really? You dreamed of it? How about you?
Yeah, it was a similar situation. You know, I'll just say that it's a
I have to.
threesome gone wrong.
I did a toast. I did the shot too. I do a shout out for Howard Andrew from Fab Scout.
Oh yeah.
Last year or the year before, he got me an invitation where Jeff Stryker, the porn star, came out of. When I was in my 20s, he was like the dream of all dreams.
Yes.
And I went to a bar here in South Florida. I came down to South Florida just to meet him. He was covered in Vaseline. It was, oh my goodness, my entire evening of the meet and greet that it would have been lasted for about 9 minutes. And I said, I'm out of here. It destroyed a fantasy that even to this day I regret.
Well, is anyone else disappointed a little bit by those three fantasies? Because I was like, yeah, something extreme. Oh, a threesome,
It was
private,
right.
a
It
porn
was
star. Come
He's still
on.
alive, by the
Attending
way.
porn star, and
The
I
fun
was
fantasies
disappointed.
were worth it.
Right.
Is Stryker
Okay.
still alive?
Question number 2. I'd swallow that. I would have no problem being nude, like at a beach, with my friends.
Oh, with my friend?
Am I qualified?
Well,
you
remember,
guys?
that's still public.
Huh?
You're
that-
with your friends, but you're still public. It's
All
not in
over.
your
Oh,
house.
the
All
public,
over,
the
honey.
public part ain't the problem, but honey, me and my friends, we don't get down like that.
For
No,
me,
no.
I would have no problem being nude.
Honey, open
wait,
your eyes.
Wait, Andrew, you're the first person I see. No problem at all at the beach.
All over beach.
With your
Get
friend.
over it. Yeah.
With your friend.
With your girlfriend.
Yeah.
Friends. Yeah.
So wait.
Thing hanging
So
out.
gays
You're not
for
sucking my
Trump
dick.
has no problem you getting them all together and being totally naked.
No worries.
well, that's why they're gays for Trump.
America, you heard it here first.
I mean, can you imagine me and Kitty at a beach just
Kitty
getting
meow.
just
Yes, I
nude
can.
and just
Yep.
naked all
Yeah.
over?
I'm sure plenty of our viewers have imagined that.
Ooh. no, girl.
Sean Palacios sends me naked pictures, so I can imagine it clearly. Hello,
You're not
Sean.
a friend.
I'm joking. Oh, wait. No, I'm not. All right. Question number 3. I'd swallow that. Ready? Final question. I'd swallow that. I have filmed myself while having sex.
Yeah.
Oh come on. Everyone has.
YouTube, X2.
Well, child.
You have, but everything backup saves to your iCloud now, so I'm constantly terrified of the Russian hackers who have gotten
Wait.
my cloud.
Wait. Power's not taking the shot, so he's pouring it in his...
I mean, last week I hardly got to drink. This week I ain't drink shit. Y'all need to do a better job with these questions.
all right.
Frank.
We know who we're calling out. All right. I'm curious, Napoleon, our leather pup at the table, our millennial. What kinds of things have you done when you filmed yourself?
I've done all sorts of things. Honestly, I've had some fun where I either role play or actually do have some like passed out things, and then have the person that I trust and respect and have an open communication with to film it to see what that kind of scene would be like. It's been invigorating to see myself from different angles, not just physically, but like in that kind of mindset. But honestly, I'm not a big fan of taping myself. I think that it's going to get out there. I get hyper paranoid. I get concerned all the
You've
time.
Everybody's
wandered
seen it,
into
dude.
the weeds. Let me try to see if I can pull Napoleon back to the path. What kind of things specifically have you filmed of yourself?
Well, I mean, this talk show right now, but you mean sexually, and I'm not going to cater to your
We're
sexual
playing. I
fantasies
swallow
now.
that. All right.
I'm
all
not
right.
going to give you a fantasy to
Trap,
have some fun
trap,
with later.
trap.
That's not my goal.
All right. Somebody else, Aaron. You drank a shot. What have you shot of yourself?
All of the things.
Everything.
Everything in between.
Now, here's my curiosity. So many of us took the shot. Has anyone published it?
Yes.
No.
you
Yeah.
have?
Yeah.
You've published it?
It's on.
Wait, it's online?
You can find it somewhere like 6 years ago, 7 years
How
ago.
about you? Okay.
I have not seen him online, no.
That's not what I asked you. Have you published it?
No,
Have you
but
published it?
I have published friends online with their consent
That's not
too.
my question. Let's try to bring you back
No,
to
no,
the path
I have
again.
not. I have not
Do
published
you
it.
understand me here?
That's
You have
like
not
I
published.
think
No,
I do.
I have not. Only on chat
Aaron?
roulette.
I watched your face. You've published?
So
Yes.
today on It's Happening Out, we're talking about what else
Okay,
again?
all right. That's our game. I'd swallow that. We're going to continue to play this
Inboxing.
frequently because I love it. It gives me an opportunity to take some shots to deal with the host of It's Happening.
Excuse me
Out.
while I
All
raise
right.
my
When you
rate.
find him online later.
Let's move into celebrity hot topics. There are so many this week. First off, Amazon Prime has launched a new show called The Boys. And The Boys is about, basically, let me shortcut it for you, the Justice League, the Avengers. It's a version of that of the 7 main superheroes in a new version called The Boys. Let me show you this first of what The Boys is all about. Watch
Please.
this.
All like that? All of them. I'm in.
Lacing the shoes, I'm on the move.
I know you're trying to be tough, but we're superheroes.
All right, I'm at episode 2. I'm watching this. Eight episodes have been launched. What do y'all think about The Boys?
I have finished.
How many times did you finish?
This is my newest guilty pleasure. I'll tell you, episode 1 is jerk-off material for sure.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Season 2?
Anybody else seen it so far?
I haven't seen it, but when I wouldn't answer the fantasy question, this would have been a good transition as a superhero.
To your point, let me point out about The Boys. The reason why you probably want to watch it, I don't like it yet, but I love that Power has watched all the shows and he likes it. So you keep me in it.
Yeah.
This is antithetical superhero show.
Okay.
They are not good guys.
No, they're the worst ever.
They're the worst personalities,
Sounds like my
humans,
kind of superhero.
superheroes ever. One of the issues is the Aquaman character. Me Too's one of the other characters in the show.
Why are you pointing at me as you say that?
Actually, I was thinking
We're
of
making
you.
that,
pointing at
we're
me with
making
that
that a
finger.
verb.
Let me show you a slide that we prepared. Here's what he does. Look at this.
Yeah.
We're going to show his ass.
Georgia Peaches?
This is a shot in episode 1, and he is beating off in the show
He could do it to me, too.
to one of the other female, the only one female superhero, and he basically says, "Look, just blow me. That's it. That's all I want." And Me Too's her.
He could do it to me, too, bitch.
Yeah,
I think that was
exactly.
in the video that I
All right.
posted.
All right. So
I'll
anyway,
put it in the queue.
this is The Boys. You have to watch it. You're either going to love it or you're going to hate it.
I'll let you know.
I don't know yet. That's why I'm in it with Power. Next, in celebrity headlines, is Adam. There is a movie coming that is about a male using the argument that he is trans to sleep or get close to a lesbian. Does that sound complicated to you?
Not
Wait,
really.
isn't that what trans is all about? Watch this preview of the new movie, Adam. Watch this.
Jordan, he.
Emma, she. Blaze, he or she.
Adam, he.
Adam is still in high school.
Got a girlfriend? I don't have one. I'd like one.
I can't believe I might actually meet Hazel at the march tomorrow. She's just like the hottest girl in the world.
Do you think someone would want to hook up with me?
Everybody here is like way older than you and gay.
Those guys are your friends?
Yeah, they're my bros.
Cool. I don't want to mess this up. I've never dated a trans guy before.
I lied to her. I told her I go to Berkeley, and if she asks, I'm gonna say that I'm 20. Dude, you look 12.
Jackie was telling me that you're from the Bay. I got my top done with Brownstein in Oakland. Who'd you get your top done with?
You used a marginalized identity to have sex. I mean, who does that? Look, I did a stupid, awful thing.
Do you think that I want you following me around all the time? I mean, what are you even doing here? At least I belong here.
If I'm destined to be the thread that unravels the gender of everyone.
Very interesting concept. Any thoughts about what we're watching in this new movie, Adam?
So
Oh, go ahead. You go.
Yeah, no, let me throw that token out there. So listen, the source material is awful. It really is. It's exactly what it sounds like. A cis guy pretending to be trans so that he can sleep with a lesbian and all that predatory shit that, Republicans like to claim that trans people are actually doing. But this is where it's important to have transgender people telling transgender stories. The adaptation, the film adaptation that we're looking at the trailer for, is directed by a trans man. His name is Reese Ernst. I don't think I'm pronouncing that right. And so he's kind of taking that source material and twisting it and making it to where we can take a really difficult, kind of fucked up storyline and turn it into a learning experience and turn it into something where we can really dig deep on these issues.
Interesting. Something else?
No, you know what? I want to leave it there. Yeah.
All right.
So are you not enraged like a lot of people are over this?
No, I think when I first read kind of the premise, I was like, really? This is where we're at now in 2019. We finally have a movie about trans folks, and we're going to do this. We're going to make us out to be predators. But I think I think that the trans director is doing something with it that's going to make us think on a deeper level, and I'm here for that.
All right.
I think that could happen, but I warn you, as a member of the fetish community and having seen 50 Shades of Grey and seen the horror that did for what that community is actually like, you might have a lot of reparation to do.
Oh, honey,
America?
It's cute you think you have to tell me about the fetish community.
America?
Out there.
Wait,
But thank
America,
you.
I want to school all the bitches sitting at the table. They all think good, bad, indifferent. Adam is new. Adam is not new. In fact, 60 years ago, this exact same story in 1959 was told. It's called Some Like It Hot. Watch this.
Not since the Marx Brothers, so much comedy. Not since the 7-Year Itch, so much Maryland. The best picture this year will also be the funniest.
Good night, sugar. Good night, honey.
There's one thing sure, boy never met girl like this before. You've never laughed more at sex or a picture about it.
You stay here as long as you like.
Jack may have beaten Tony to the sugar, but not for long.
You're not giving yourself a chance. Don't fight it. Relax.
Hear Maryland sing the fabulous songs of the Roaring Twenties on the United Artists Soundtrack Album.
Running wild, lost control, running wild, mighty bold, feeling gay, reckless too, carefree mind all the time, never
All right.
knew.
All right. It's been done before. That's my point. Any observations you wanted to say?
There's a very famous Fort Lauderdale resident that was in that movie, Gloria Garinger.
Okay.
And she sings throughout the community here, and you got to go see her. She's absolutely fabulous.
All right.
Anyway.
So that's Adam. It's coming. Other celebrity news this week. We want to talk about Jeffree Star. I think many of you know Jeffree Star.
I agree, Power.
Wait,
Power has been so enthusiastic on this story this week because watch what Jeffree Star did about his closet in New York City. Watch this.
Here we go. Okay, now the first thing I had to do is I wanted cotton candy floors. These shoes were such a staple. Now, I had to have an amazing place just to sit, try on clothes, maybe take a nap and just dream in here about new palette ideas. I have one of the biggest collections in the world. Pink suede. Now, a lot of people love black purses, brown. Pink obviously is my color, right? So thank you guys for coming on this wild journey with me. I will see you on the next video. Mwah.
We are while the video package was running, we are laughing our asses off because hashtag gay as fuck.
Yeah.
Let's turn to Power. What do you think, Power?
I think this story was a nothing burger. I don't even know why we did it. You know, and it's not no shade to Jeffree Star. It's just me personally. I really don't get into celebrity followings, worshiping celebrities. You know, I just don't get into that. So for me, this story really did not
Well,
resonate.
and isn't he like a whole Nazi?
I mean, that's
Just saying. I'm just throwing that out there. Isn't he like a real staunch racist?
Oh, I
just want to make.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I just think he made Joan Rivers' closet look like an efficiency.
Yeah. All right. Other celebrity news. Let's move on. Please.
Next.
Please. Did you know that Will and Grace is ending?
Again.
What? Will and Grace is ending in 2020 because I think they don't want to be associated with Donald Trump's re-election in any way. Watch this about Will and Grace.
We don't have to clap for this.
All right.
We don't have to.
Hats off to Will and Grace. Anybody's thoughts about their ending on their 11th
I've
season?
got a huge. There's no creativity on that show, and it's total Trump bashing, except for Karen, who I love, who is my twin sister.
Yeah, all right.
Okay.
Trump bashing.
My question would really just be, why would we stop a show that is so important to educating
It's not
America?
relevant today.
Hold on, please. Would be so important to educating America. Why would we stop and say, no, you know what, we don't want to be associated with Trump? I don't get the correlation.
It's Trump bashing, and it was not 1998 when it was a very relevant show. Today, it's all, except for Karen, bash, 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 bash. Is there no creativity?
Karen is literally all bash.
Is there no creativity in television or anywhere today, even on Broadway?
All right. Well, that's observations on Will and Grace. Let's move on. Sam Smith. We love Sam Smith. He has a brand new music video this week called How Do You Sleep?
Yeah, I love it.
Let me show you a little bit about his video. How Do You Sleep? We're going to tell you about it because we can't use the music of How Do You Sleep. But it's interesting because Sam Smith identifying as gay in terms of what he identifies or non-binary. He does this video with 9 beautiful men dancing with him. And what is making the news is not the music video, but the imaging. Look at this. He is simultaneously doing hyper-masculinity, and look at that, simultaneously hyper-femininity. What do y'all think?
It takes me back to when I first saw some of Kylie Minogue's videos, like especially Get Out of My Way.
Yes, that's a
when I
great
really got into Kylie Minogue, I was 23, and I remember it was also when I was getting into RuPaul, and I was learning how much I'm into glam rock, how much I'm into expressing my feminine self, because you're told a lot as a gay guy growing up that you can't be feminine.
This child ain't no Kylie Minogue.
No, not the music.
I'm the same age as you. I grew up in the same generation. This ain't no Kylie Minogue.
Watch the video Get Out of My Way. It's a similar dance style.
Where is the
Sexy as hell.
hyper-masculinity?
The hyper-masculinity is being topless in muscle boys. Most of the 9 dancers are muscle boys. And that becomes hyper-masculinity.
Power's not buying this.
Their sundresses just fell between
Wait, hold on. I want to hear this soundbite.
You need more than muscle to be called hyper-masculinity.
Hold on. Power, hold on.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
That. You need more than muscle to be called hyper masculine when you're cunt.
All right.
Those boys are
Okay.
so
All right.
sorry.
Big celebrity hot topic this week. Next in our celebrity hot topics is San Francisco. Have you heard? Terminal 1 has been renamed Harvey Milk Terminal 1.
Very good.
And we have the notice here of the celebration of Harvey Milk. And they have a museum in Terminal 1 in San Francisco. And why this was big news is people from all over the world come through Terminal 1 in San Francisco and they learn about the gay rights movement by landing and taking off in the terminal. Any thoughts about
This is very important to me.
Why?
Very important.
Why?
As a 14-year-old kid, I looked up to Harvey Milk, and I was still a Republican, and he was fighting for gay rights as a 14-year-old kid trying to struggle with that as well. And in the 90s, still was a Republican. On my license plate, I had RV Milk because...
Wow. That's interesting. Interesting. Any other thoughts
Well, he's a
about
white
Terminal
gay
1?
I didn't
So
really
I
hear.
understand.
Did you say as a Republican or
No,
he was a
I'm
Republican?
as a Republican always growing
He
up.
still supported Harvey
I
Milk
was
even
still
as a
and
Republican.
I think Harvey Milk is an empire and led the gay rights before the 50s and the guillotine and thing like that and brought it to the forefront. And I'm grateful to him.
It's a great soundbite. Thank you. I want to move on in other celebrity hot topics and talk about Billy Porter. Billy Porter has been seen a lot in 2019 in dresses. Okay? The Vogue Museum event, the Academy Awards, other events. Billy Porter came out this week and did a video that he taped himself about why he's doing that. And it was really interesting. Watch what Billy Porter says about wearing a dress.
If I'm over here wearing a dress, why does it matter? Any woman who puts on pants is considered strong because pants are associated with the patriarchy. It's like some sort of superiority complex. So a man puts on a dress and it's disgusting. So what you're saying is men are fabulous, women are disgusting. I'm not doing that anymore. I want to be a walking piece of political art when I show up. You know, just living inside of my truth publicly is a political act. I get that too. So to add the layer of fashion on top of it seemed like a no-brainer. You know, the most disappointing was the backlash from black people. That was worse than all of it. The vitriol, you know, like, I'm the cause of the emasculation of the black man. Well, okay. I didn't know that I had that much power, but now that I know I do, you can expect me to be wielding it every chance I get. I loved the Oscars, I loved the Golden Globes, I loved the Met Gala and the Tonys with my uterus dress made out of the Kinky Boots curtain. Know your references, children.
Yeah.
You know,
I just tell you, America, if I didn't love Billy Porter, I love Billy Porter now. Any thoughts about
Yes,
what he says about being in a
There
dress?
is a point that he made about the black community and the backlash. Now, a few weeks ago, we had a discussion about the black community and its homophobia. And when I said that the black community is one of the most homophobic communities out there was backlash from other blacks, you know, who say, oh, well, you know, they're just saying that to make blacks look bad. No, I'm saying it because it's true. I call it out if it's true. And he just pointed out the same thing. You know, this whole, sometimes we do not get the support that we should get as black men from the black community. And so he called it out.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Fantastic observation. Anything else? Real quick, 20 seconds.
If you haven't worn a dress and heels and gloves like Power Infiniti is wearing right now, do it. It's very empowering.
I think it was spot on.
Broad observation. I love, beyond the black observation that you just reiterate, I love the fact that women can wear a power suit and men can't wear a dress. I think that is a brilliant observation.
Just
to
like
make.
tomboy or
That's very
exactly.
interesting.
I never thought about that
Yeah.
before.
Let's non-binary, right? All right. Let's move on to other celebrity hot topics, and that is straight pride a hate group? You see this slide that we prepared? We keep talking about straight pride in Boston. We can't help but keep talking about straight pride in Boston. They claimed that TripAdvisor might be one of the sponsors, and we show you this slide. Did TripAdvisor, a $1 billion corporation, clap back at straight pride? Look at what they said. They did an email, and the brilliance of their email is they replied by saying, we're giving you your only opportunity to cease and desist by telling you this in using gay anthem songs. And we've highlighted each one of them, whether it's Diana Ross, or it's Gloria Gaynor, or it's Donna Summer,
Or Patti LaBelle, or Tom
Patti
Petty,
LaBelle, or whatever it was. They used their answer to cease and desist only in gay anthems, and it brought us completely to a stop. You see it here. Any thoughts about what's going on Super Happy Fun America?
The only gay anthem that I'm not familiar with is that "Black Me Out." I don't know what
All right.
song that
There's definitions on each one.
However, I would say this. Every single week that we have talked about straight pride, it has been about some organization, personality, celebrity that has read the dog shit out of them for associating their name with them. I mean, Brad Pitt, Netflix, now TripAdvisor. Nobody wants to be associated with them. But I think the biggest question for us to ask, since we always talk about straight pride, is why, and I'm not saying this rhetorically, why do we care about straight pride? Why
actually, if you don't mind, I'm going to move on, but I want to return to your question when we get to the Modesto conversation. We're going to get to that more specifically. That's the end of our celebrity hot topics, and we're going to move into headlines. First big headline of the week: Black minority versus gay minority. In St. Petersburg, Florida, here in Florida, it's one of the largest gay activist organizations, the Chamber, the Convention and Visitors Bureau. Two of our hosts identify in the Tampa Bay region and Pinellas County, St. Petersburg, Power, and Aaron. It has the largest gay pride parade and event in the southeastern United States. Well, there's a new sheriff, potentially, on the horizon, and his name is Chico Cromartie. You see it here? He has basically said, I'm going to dismantle the Pinellas County, St. Petersburg gay structure. It is discriminatory and it is harmful to the black community. Watch this amazing radio interview that Chico Cromartie gave. Watch this.
Chico Cromartie, welcome, sir. He came to my attention through an article in the Tampa Bay Times this week. Headline, "To Hell with Gay Pride," says St. Pete City Council candidate. But, I mean, you can see that the Pride parade and the festivities, they bring in, I think, tens of millions of dollars to St. Petersburg.
I mean, well, that's what they say. The philosophy is kind of forced on a lot of residents. I believe, and a lot of Americans do, that it's a choice. You know, they can wake up one day and say, I don't want to do that anymore. And it's not like, oh, I got to sleep with the same sex. People don't wake up like, I don't think that people are compelled to do it to that extent.
Do you think you could wake up tomorrow morning and think, I want to sleep with a man today?
No, never.
Then how could they wake up tomorrow morning and say, I want to sleep with a woman today?
It's a choice of.
Do you feel like you chose women over men?
I think every man does.
No, I don't. I'm into women. It's no choice. Like you're into women. It's no choice for you.
That's one way to look at it. But I mean, the fact is physically a choice.
But so physically, you could choose to be into dudes.
No, you don't know what what goes through a gay man's mind. Correct. You shouldn't, and I don't either.
All right,
and I'm not trying to figure out what they're thinking about. I know that they.
So you'd rather just cast judgments without trying to get inside their mind.
I'm not judging anybody. I'm just saying it's a choice that they make.
Well, America, you are watching racism as it comes out of a mouth. You are watching homophobia as it comes out of their mouth. The position of many, some too many, in other communities, is that we choose to be gay. And that is the illustration of how I can discriminate against you because you choose. What do you think about this person running for the city council in St. Petersburg?
I'm going to say this. Mr. Chico, get out of politics now because you have no place in politics. My OG right here, the woman who started with me since day one at Bubbles, is actually leaving Wilton, the gayest place, and moving to the second gayest place, I guess. And I think she's going to be very surprised to see what is greeted. I mean, it's just ignorance. That guy doesn't even deserve our attention because, quite frankly, if you're running for public office and you don't understand the type of business that the gay community brings into any community, when you have a high percentage of gay population in any city, trust me, that city is thriving. So you guys get with the program, okay?
And I agree with Josie. This guy is a Democratic plant, as Edison Waters was last year running against Debbie Wasserman Schultz.
Andrew.
The Pinellas GOP, Todd Jennings, condemned him, and he does not represent any of the values of the GOP. He is a snake salesman.
Let's provide context to Andrew's observation. Chico is a Republican.
No, but
right?
but it's a nonpartisan race, and you can register however you want it, just like Edison Waters did.
I understand. So you're suggesting that he's really a Democrat.
Absolutely, he is. He is a fraud.
Right,
He's a fake oil salesman.
That's he's using
like Edison Andrews.
He's using Donald Trump's
And
mechanics.
Andrew Gillum.
Let me finish. I mean, he's doing the same thing that Trump did. When he got elected, he drummed up as much attention as possible at first. That's exactly the technique.
Do not equate him to Donald Trump whatsoever.
Focus on me.
15 more seconds.
For Andrew, in that I know it's disgraceful that this guy is actually a Republican, so you don't.
By registered voter, but I do not believe his values are.
Well, I know you have.
Hold on.
You have the right to believe whatever you want to believe, but the fact of the matter is, he chose to register as a Republican because he knows what party is going to embrace his idiocy.
Right. Well, and he also chose.
He's talking over each other.
And he also chose St. Pete on purpose. Let's be real. He knew damn well that in St. Petersburg that this ideology was not going to go over like a fucking whore in church.
Okay.
And it's being supported by George Soros. Don't forget that. George Soros.
Last question.
My question is this: to piggyback off what Aaron said. Do you guys think he actually really wants to get elected?
No, he wants attention.
Yeah, I think he just wants attention.
Literally what I say.
I want to
like
answer
Andrew
that
Gillum.
question. I want to answer that question in a different way than what you immediately heard. I do not believe in 2015 when Donald Trump came down the escalator, he wanted to be president of the United States.
Oh, yes, he did.
Yeah.
Wait, you're interrupting me, Andrew.
Oh, hold on.
You're coming down the. I like that actually. He came down the escalator with an impression that it would propel him. I think your question is right. That Chico is doing something that propels him, and he's creating controversy to propel him.
Yeah.
The problem and the scary thing here is it may work. He may be elected.
Well, here's
he
the thing.
may work on dismantling.
As a former Mr. St. Pete Pride, I'm going to let you know that I know that community very well. And that community, it's never going to fly.
Okay. All right.
Al, I agree with you 110% on
Okay.
that comment.
All right.
Noted.
We're moving on. Other headlines. Did you hear that there is new Britain Trump? It's been categorized in Britain. First name Britain, second name Trump. Theresa May is resigning as we speak. It is breaking news in her resignation. Boris Johnson, the former mayor of London, is now the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. And we couldn't help but notice that there was some similarities with our president. Watch this that we prepared for you.
Mr. Speaker, I note the climate change denying US president has already labelled him Britain's Trump. and welcomed his commitment to work with Nigel Farage. Could Britain Trump take this opportunity to rule out once and for all that our NHS is not going to be part of any trade deal with President Trump and the USA? Will he make it clear that our National Health Service is not going to be sold to American healthcare companies? Mr. Speaker, people fear that far from wanting to take back control, the new Prime Minister would effectively make us a vassal state of Trump's America.
Well, if it's possible to go back to the slide, the most interesting thing is the Parliament identifying it as Britain Trump, and I can't help. Look at that picture.
I know, it's so
There is
weird.
no
Out last
similarity.
week before it even became.
You did. You absolutely did. And what is that? That's is that the
It
crazy
needs more
new
hair product and
yeah,
get it up.
the
and,
crazy new hairstyle. Okay, well,
Must be a
breaking news.
trend.
Let's move on to other headlines.
In other words.
One of which is in Bulgaria. This week, big news, and the reason it's big news is because it's in Eastern Europe. Frequently, we see a rejection of LGBT rights in Eastern Europe. Bulgaria legalizes gay marriage. Congratulations, Bulgaria.
Yes.
You become the first country in
Very
Eastern Europe
good.
to do it.
Woo!
Now, that's big news.
Yeah.
However, please allow me to geek out a moment. My friend Napoleon.
You know how to do it, Al.
I'm getting
You got
ready
it?
to geek out.
All right, build me
I'm
a
a
hype.
Harry Potter Uber fan. And one of the greatest characters of Harry Potter was, of course, from Bulgaria, Victor Krum. So now we can all celebrate every gay nerd's dream coming true that we can now marry Victor Krum.
We do live in our fantasies, so we will hold to it.
Exactly, and he will not violate our game that we played earlier of a fantasy gone awry. Everyone just want to stare at Victor Krum a moment.
I want the blonde underwear model that she took to the winter prom.
By the way, have you seen the new pictures of Victor Krum? He is muscled up incredibly.
Ooh, yes,
he
Daddy.
is beautiful, beautiful.
No problem.
In other headlines in the news, we go to Eastern Europe. Not as fun. That is in Białystok, Poland. The first gay pride took place over the weekend in Białystok, and it led to violence and brutality. Approximately 500 people marched in the first ever gay pride there, and it required them completely being surrounded by police because very likely they would have been killed. Watch this that we prepared for you. Well, America, you can see this probably would have made international news if the police did not surround the 500 marchers in this first gay pride, because there likely would have been many deaths. We show you, if we could come back to the slide, one of the pictures of the shirts that were distributed. Look at the shirt that he is wearing. He is specifically calling out homosexual sexual acts. And then we show you the sticker in the right-hand corner. That was distributed in the main newspaper in Białystok, Poland. And it is an anti-gay safe zone sticker, meaning you take the sticker and you post it, meaning gay is not welcome. And they take the rainbow colors from us to do that, and the beginning of the swastika, which was the black cross. Any thoughts about what we saw in Poland?
Can we take a moment and first say, if you know or you were involved in that, congratulations. It's not often that you can experience a pride where you really have to fight. And just good job fighting for what we actually need.
Well, I find it funny that you called it, the way you worded it, Al, really kind of struck me. You said the first gay pride there led to violence and brutality. If we don't remember, the first gay pride here led to violence and brutality. It was a riot first. That's right. They are experiencing now what we experienced in the 1950s, 1960s.
Right.
And I mean, you know, it really comes down to this. We cannot fight ignorance with ignorance. So the LGBTQAI community, okay, you guys, we got to be strong. We got to be smart. We got to be vigilant, and we have to be courageous. And we're going to come up against many more ignorant folks because that seems to be the trend in the world right now. But what we can do is unify and stick together and stand for what it is we believe and be willing to put our lives on the line for it. So,
and I have to agree with Aaron because it reminded me of the 70s and the USA civil rights. But I also have to say that President Trump has appointed another openly gay man to Lithuania, a country that is anti-gay, and President Trump is keeping his promise of eliminating homosexuality as
pawns
in those Far Eastern
decriminalizing.
Decriminalize, right.
Decriminalizing it.
I want to move on from Poland, and we say to watchers that watch us in the Eastern European countries, America stands with you philosophically. This show stands with you philosophically.
Head to Bulgaria.
Like in Bulgaria and Poland and the Ukraine. We've reported on Ukraine. And Russia, really, for that matter. We move on very quickly. I want to move a little faster in terms of headlines. We talk about gay Christmas. What is gay Christmas? It's Halloween. Woo! And we just want to report to you that there is a big movement. It's received about 100,000 signatures on a petition to move Halloween from October 31st to permanently the last Saturday in October. Any thoughts about moving Halloween? Is this a big deal?
Do not disrespect my Christian Christmas on December 25th with Halloween on October 31st. End of story.
That's exactly how I felt about that and Tuesday Night Football. Why is this the bigger deal that people can get behind versus any other aspect?
Okay, all right, good. Other headlines in the news? Let's talk about don't try to figure it out. Just don't try to figure it out. Okay, right. Let's talk about baking the cake. We keep talking about the religious freedom laws that are going on. An interesting thing happened this week when a trans activist sued a salon because the trans activist was refused services to have she is female, trans female, to have her testicles waxed.
It wasn't me.
And it wasn't Aaron. What do y'all think about what this says?
I do not agree with Sis on this one.
Yeah.
And
meaning you agree that they had the right. They had the right to refuse her service.
Yes, I'm with the salon on this one because first of all, she has sued a lot of other companies and organizations. And a lot of her lawsuits have been thrown out. But with regard to this one in particular, the salon is not even trained. The salon owner is not even trained to wax testicles.
Yeah.
She's not trained, she's not comfortable, and I just think that why would you want to sue somebody who is not even competent to do the job that you want?
Well, I tell you broadly, unless you have other comments, good, keep the sticker on. We like that. Unless you have other comments, I'm going to move on. But it's an interesting situation in Are there times where in the gay community we're going too far? And that's the point that you're making.
What are y'all looking at me for? I have nothing.
All right.
Nothing.
I want to move on to other headlines in the news this week, and that's about Pose. Blake McIver has had not such a good week. Blake he came off his Twitter, then he came off all of his social media, and he's gone. The former star of Glee. I believe he was friends with Ryan Murphy. We're showing you a slide of a tweet that he did that caused the firestorm. So Pose is just Glee with a viral load now. Okay.
Disgusting.
We understand. Highly disgusting observation in making the connection between the musical genre of Glee and Pose, and then connecting it with HIV and AIDS.
Get it? Because black gay people, right?
But
Hilarious.
exactly.
Hilarious.
But the broad question is, why can't he say this?
That's not a question. That's not the issue.
What is the issue?
Of course he can say it. The question is, does he expect to say it and get no repercussion?
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. I kind of think at this point, I don't know why Lizzo is coming to mind and Truth Hurts. I don't know. It's like when we're gonna just say something, can't we just say what we're saying?
Sure.
And does it have to be read so deeply that now you're taking my words and manipulating them and twisting them into whatever it is that you want
It's
it
the
to be?
liberal media that does that.
I mean, it's just a fact. It is the fact.
Wait, but nobody's freedoms have been infringed upon here. Nobody has said you can't say it.
No.
They have said you can't say it and sit there and expect me not to have something to say back.
Right.
But if
Plain
I say it, I'm
and
called a
plain
racist.
and simple. I don't care what you are, what you get called. You said it. You chose to say it and stand by it. You get the repercussion. You get the backlash. Just like you have a right to say it, I have a right to respond. I have a right to tell your job. I have a right to send your dick pics to your mama. I have a right to do whatever it is that I feel I have a right to do to come back to that. You don't get to sit there and be comfortable anymore and feel cozy in your racism or your
I am not
anti-gayness
comfortable
or your
with racism
anti-blackness or
whatsoever. Do not
whatever
put
it
words
is.
in my mouth.
People don't get to just sit and be
call me a
comfortable.
racist.
People don't just get to sit and be comfortable bigots anymore. Sorry, too bad. Move the fuck
Because
on.
you can't
Get
defend
over
your
it.
facts, you call
Get over
everybody
it.
a racist.
Whatever. We'll ruin your life, okay? Get used to it. Get used to the progress. Or get used to the fact that we will ruin your
Get
life
used to the
if you want to
facts.
talk like this.
All right.
Can
All right.
I
So-
ask a question?
The last 15 seconds.
If it is really about racism, then I'm even more curious because Glee isn't exactly a walking stereotype of heterosexual normality.
No.
So
That's
that
not
adds a whole
true.
level to it.
The whole issue is Glee was predominantly,
Gay.
one of the points
Super
was, besides gay, because both shows are predominantly gay, Ryan Murphy's Glee was predominantly white. Ryan Murphy's Pose is predominantly black.
Okay, now I
And there
understand.
are multiple
The only way to color
racist
it.
issues in the underground.
It's always funny that we always forget about people's rights to free speech when it comes to them them having a response to something outrageous that somebody says. So everybody questions if he has a right to free speech, but nobody defends the right of everybody to respond.
Right. Is he in jail?
No.
Because if he's not in jail, then his right to free speech has not been
infringed
upon.
on.
Interesting. Okay. I want to move on to a topic that we've been kind of teasing for a long time. I've made multiple observations on bisexuality. And in bisexuality, we ask the question, does it exist? And my friends here on the panel, when I've suggested, I'm not so sure. I don't think it exists. It's a choice. And interestingly,
So
I
it's being
right
gay,
at
I
this
guess.
moment put myself in the same bucket as the
idiot.
guy and as the idiot on choice. So it got us asking the big question: is it real? Does bisexuality actually exist? And we had to turn to the expert, an expert 60 years old, and a reinterpretation of the most groundbreaking sexuality study ever done in history. Ever heard of it? Kinsey. So let us show you this.
Hello, I'm Dr. Alfred Kinsey from Indiana University, and I'm making a study of sex behavior. I've learned that the gap between what we assume people do sexually and what they actually do is enormous. That's why a study of this kind is so important. What you tell us will provide an immense contribution to knowledge and science. So, if you're sitting comfortably there, let's begin.
I invented it, son.
Tell me more.
A man named Dr. Alfred Kinsey did one of the largest studies of human sexual behavior in the 1940s. The findings of his study, published in these 2 volumes, gave the world a much deeper understanding of sexuality, including a new way to talk about sexual orientation. As Dr. Alfred Kinsey puts it, there are not 2 discrete populations, heterosexual and homosexual. The world is not to be divided into sheep and goats. This is true of sexual orientation, how we're oriented with others sexually, if at all. Kinsey created a 7-point Likert scale to show how we describe sexual orientation, like this one here. All right, so 7 points, 0 through 6. A Kinsey 0 is someone who is exclusively heterosexual. A Kinsey 6, someone who is exclusively homosexual. The way that I remember this is when one of my classmates, very homosexual, raised his hand and said, "I'm a Kinsey 10." And so, to me, 6 reminds me top of the numbers, higher numbers, more homosexual in behaviors. And the lower numbers indicate more heterosexual or interest in opposite sex partners. Kinsey 1 is predominantly heterosexual with an incident of homosexuality, and a Kinsey 5 is predominantly homosexual with an incident of heterosexuality. 2 and 4 are more than incidences, so heterosexual with more than an incidence of homosexuality, and homosexual with more than an incident of heterosexuality. And a Kinsey 3 is equal parts heterosexual and homosexual in either psychological reactions and or sexual behavior. Aces, I didn't forget you, and Kinsey didn't either. If a person identifies as asexual, sexual orientation is denoted by an X. Kinsey describes them as no sociosexual contexts or reactions. You might be asking yourself, well, what am I? This is an effort at depicting orientation. It doesn't mean it's a done deal. I mean, Kinsey Scale doesn't even account for non-binary genders or pansexuality. Pansexuality? Attraction regardless of gender. All the genders. Other models do account for all these variables like gender, fantasies, and time. Fritz Klein even came up with a method that brings in emotional and social preferences, and lifestyle, and how you would identify regardless of the algorithm. There are hundreds of different ways to describe sexual orientation. Yours might be the next leader in how we classify each other. That's if we need to be classified at all.
Okay, well, I thought that was an outstanding summary of Kinsey and the opening of Kinsey of the movie. Now we have a plethora of slides here that we're going to help in definitions. To be honest with you, this has been an interesting week for me because I've gone back to Sexuality Study 101 because it's a commitment to learn more about where we are. I think what is so interesting about Kinsey in the 1950s, the movie, which is 15 years old now, and today, is we have learned so much more. Her end conclusion is there are hundreds of definitions that may apply here, and why do we even need to categorize them, I think is interesting. But let us help you categorize them. First, bisexual. A person who is sexually attracted not exclusively to people of one particular gender, attracted to both men and women. We're applying definitions here. Pansexual. A person who is not limited in sexual choice with regard to biological sex, gender, or gender identity. Asexual. A person who is without sexual feelings or associations. They may still experience attraction, but this attraction doesn't need to be realized in any sexual manner. Now, in each of those 3 slides, we give you the Kinsey Scale definition, 3, 4, X. But that study was over 40 years ago, and now the spectrum has grown off the original spectrum, showing us that human sexuality is always evolving. And we give additional definitions. Polysexual. A person with attraction to more than one gender, with no limit on the gender spectrum. Contrary to popular belief, this has nothing to do with somebody else.
Polygamy.
Polyamory. Thank you.
Polygamy.
Omnisexuality. Right. A person who is attracted to all genders, but not regardless of gender. Gender can still be a factor in their attraction, unlike true pansexuals who do not care about the gender. Have you heard about sapiosexual? A person who finds people, regardless of gender spectrum, equally attractive or arousing because of their personality and intelligence, not defined by Kinsey. And
call that humanism,
sexuality. A person who is primarily sexual, romantically and or aesthetically attracted to genderqueer, transgender, or non-binary people.
Call me.
What do you, right? Exactly. All right. So, the broad question starting with bisexuality, the LGBTQ. We focus on the biggest one, the B, but we're focusing on all kinds of definitions. What do y'all think? Does
The question
really
is, what do you think? Because you are the one that said that you don't believe in
Yes,
bisexuality.
Mr. Gay Guru.
Where
That's
are you
right.
now?
And I agree with Al.
I am willing to admit that potentially I'm a mouth-breathing moron.
Well,
Potentially
and
willing
the crowd
to-
goes
and
wild.
I don't toss Al a cookie very often, okay? But I mean, there's telling a joke, and then there's actually believing the shit that
Yeah,
you say.
absolutely true, right?
So there's.
Do you
that.
believe me?
Well,
You?
Yeah.
I believe that you were joking. This one, on the other hand, I'm really curious.
I said no word yet.
Right.
You vote-
No words. Here's the broad issue. If we are going to live, one of the things that the sex expert redefining Kinsey does, which I want y'all to comment on, that I think is so brilliant. She basically says, don't focus on choice. Focus on attraction.
Mm-hmm.
If you focus on attraction, it's what do you innately identify in your attraction.
Yes.
And if that is your attraction, that is what you are.
Mm-hmm.
If you allow people to commandeer this conversation based on choice, then all bets are off, and we can't come to any
Yeah,
scientific
I mean, anybody can choose to be
conclusion.
in the closet forever, but that's no way to live either.
Right,
You know?
right.
Boring.
Again, I agree with you.
Saying
I think it's 3 times tonight. I agreed with you, Aaron.
saying
But
that you
I
don't,
think.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry. Here, hold on.
It's gonna mess up my lips.
That's not happening. No. All right. Where were we?
Wait,
Go ahead.
I was going to say, you're either gay or you're straight, and I think most gay Americans are tired with the full alphabet coming across. It's like being you're pregnant or you're not pregnant. You're gay or you're straight. You're bisexual because you don't have the balls to come out and say I'm gay. End of story.
Is there
And
some
you,
sort
but
of-
wait. Hold on. Let
Okay.
me pursue that. So your position personally is that bisexuality doesn't exist.
It's a farce and it's a masquerade because they don't have the balls or the boobs to pick gay
Okay.
or straight.
All right. We hear you.
Well, I have
All right.
neither balls nor boobs, okay? And how are you going to look at me? I am both genders in one person, and you going to tell me that bisexuality doesn't exist?
It does not.
Okay. All right.
You think-
Pick
okay.
a sex.
Sure.
Pick a gender. You're gay or
Wow.
you're straight.
Wait.
How-
wait.
Here's
You know,
an answer for
it's
you.
different.
No.
The thing-
And fuck
the thing
you.
is-
Wait,
That's why.
Wait.
thing-
Wait.
You know,
Wait.
when
Hold
you
on.
can't answer a question,
Wait.
you come after and you lose
Please.
slurs. And
Y'all-
I'm offended
y'all
by
help
that,
me.
And don't say fuck you.
I meant
Y'all
it to be
help me.
offensive.
Y'all help me because I want to come back to your point.
I haven't.
But
made a-
my I know I want to come back
oh.
to your observation you're going to make. My question to you specifically is if Aaron makes the decision of the observation that he just made, why do you or I need to put him in a box that it's one or the other? That's the real question.
Because the gay community is A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and the 26 letters. We're gay or we're straight. End of story.
Wait. That doesn't answer my question,
It answers
and I
your
want to
question.
come back
We're-
to it again.
We're gay or straight.
Andrew,
End of story.
I understand. I understand the words that you're saying. I'm trying to get illumination. I'm trying to light a room. Why do you or me or anyone else need the definition that it's this or that? The question is
Because
why?
the liberals and the gay community have added A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, 26
Oh my God.
letters.
Okay, I'm so done with this conversation,
Okay.
and I'm going to tell you why. Okay, because life isn't black or white. Okay, and neither are human beings. Okay, when you get connected to what's really driving you, you might find out and learn a little bit about yourself. All right. And I love you, Andrew, but I'm going to just tell you, life is not black or white, and neither are human beings.
Okay.
Listen, I sucked dick and ate pussy last weekend, so tell me that I'm not bisexual, okay?
Hey!
That's all I'm saying about
Well,
it.
it's not about the actions, but if you like it.
All right.
How dare anybody in the gay community say that that bisexuality or pansexuality or anything else does not exist, because that is the exact same thing that ignoramus that we just saw it basically is saying. While you sit there and say that we're either gay or straight, somebody else is saying everybody is straight and everything else is just a choice. We find that ignorant, but then we'll turn around and display the same ignorance and say the same thing. And Andrew is not the only one. There's a lot of people that doubt that bisexuality exists. They think, oh, you just can't, you're on the fence. You can't make up your mind. Listen, if we can be gay and we're out here shouting and saying that homosexuality is a thing, it's not a choice, it actually is a thing, then why is it that we cannot then open our minds to believe that bisexuality is also not a choice? It is actually the same thing.
Power, I hear your point, but didn't some people up here just a couple of weeks ago turn to Andrew and say, hey, I don't believe gay Republicans exist?
No, I don't.
I mean,
think
I believe
anybody said
that was one of our conversations, and it was definitely said up here. I don't think that you can be Republican and gay, and I know that was an extreme view, and that we argued it back and forth.
That was the topic, but I don't.
Yeah, it was the topic.
Yeah, it was a topic, right? But I
And
don't know if anybody here
even if
said
that's
that.
true, let's grant that that's true for a moment. What's your point
That
by
we're saying,
making that
I mean, he identifies as gay and Republican. We're saying that doesn't exist versus if bisexuality exists.
Nobody here said that. Nobody here said that you can't be gay.
Jared, play it back. Just kidding.
that was the topic that we raised, but nobody here actually.
I think Chris Riss brought that up on Miami Gay List.
Well, you know what's funny? Because here you sit, right? A gay Republican, okay, in all your glory. You get to sit there and be who you are and be what you are, and we all just have to accept that that's what you are. But yet, here I sit, okay? Here I motherfucking sit. Both genders in one person, bisexual as fuck, but we can't just have that be okay. We can't just accept that. No, you've got to put it in a box. You've got to redirect. You've got to redefine for me who the fuck I am and what
most
the
in
fuck
the gay
I'm gonna
community
do.
want that in the box.
I don't give a fuck what the gay community
No, most
wants.
in the gay community do not want.
5 people here
Please
don't.
allow me to help.
Saying that bisexuality doesn't exist or that there's only gay
I'm
and
not
straight.
saying it doesn't exist.
Okay,
Please.
saying that
You did
there's
say
only
that.
gay and straight, to me, is as, and with all due respect to those that believe this, is as ridiculous as saying the earth is flat. I mean, who still thinks that? We have come to an age of intelligence and learning and learned that we know now that it's not just black or white.
I'm trying
it's not
to
just gay or straight.
illuminate a dark room. Let me try one more time, Andrew, and I'm giving you another opportunity to illuminate a dark room. I hear you. I hear you. The question here is, Aaron is saying, I don't need anyone else's approval for me to believe this is what I am.
No.
And the question then becomes, why does someone else have the right or the need to define them? That's what I'm very specifically asking you. Because it's popular in the gay community doesn't make it right. Why do they need to do that?
The whole trans community is waiting on that answer too.
And that's the question. Why do you representing a point of view, which frequently has been my point of view, frankly, why do you or we or others need that? Why do we have to do that?
I think it's the BLGBTQ who want it, not the G and L.
I'm talking about you specifically. Wait, allow me. I'm trying to illuminate a room. Why do you need, all right, I hear you, and all of the other letters in the community, but you specifically, or who you represent.
I represent me. I don't represent.
Why?
Please.
Why do we? Okay, I hear you. But why do we have the need to identify Aaron in the box that we want to identify them in?
I didn't identify Aaron
Listen,
in the box.
listen, talk to me, my friend. Talk to me.
I did not.
Why?
Put you
What
in
does
the
it
box.
matter? What does it matter to you? Okay, you and I. Listen. You and I, human to human, right? Man to man. Okay, all right. You hear me? why does it get into your psyche so much that you have to recategorize it? You have to explain it. You have to be right. What is it about just, why can't I just show up in all of my glory, okay? Why can't I just show up and be what and who I am, and you just be either okay with that or just unfucking bothered and move along? Why does it matter to you so much?
It doesn't bother me, and I'm not transphobic as many people think that I am.
Nobody said that.
But he
Yes, they
asked
have.
a question, why? All right, you're not transphobic.
You feel the need to insist that bisexuality doesn't exist. Why?
You know, going back to the history of the gay community, we were the gay lesbian community under the umbrella. And we've gone from A, B, C, D, and Q. It's the gay community and not the bisexual
So a lot of
community.
here's the thing about the ABCDQ. The ABCDQ are also otherwise known as people, human beings, okay? And we've been left behind, left in the dirt, and
some of those
dismissed.
people are really not gay.
Ever since back
It
when
should
it
not
was
be
the
under the gay
and lesbian.
umbrella.
Well, but clearly.
But who the
it's
fuck are
not
you to
that.
say? Who the fuck are
It's
you
my
to say?
opinion. I can say it, and a lot of people agree with me.
Well,
okay.
That's your freedom, and
All right.
that's your
Exactly.
right. And
It's
I
your
have the
freedom
right
too.
to tell you you're
Exactly,
fucking
and we
wrong.
respect each other for that.
I think I can answer something for you as to why you're uncomfortable with it, and I think
I'm
it's
not
because
uncomfortable with
I
it.
think well, even if you are, there might be other people that are or not. I think that it makes you question yourself, or other people question themselves as to what their sexuality, what their
Oh, honey, I have no
really
question
is.
about my sexuality.
And a lot of gay people, I mean,
100% homo.
again, going back to the kink thing, a lot of people put that as a separate category because, oh, I've come to terms with my sexuality. I don't have to deal with what actually turns me on. But it's something we have to constantly question.
Here's
It's like
the thing
tastes.
that's super valuable to me in this conversation. I have inappropriately, this has probably been one of the most talked about conversations in the production office that we have had.
All of our production are all bisexuals, by
Yes.
the way.
and I, Kinsey 4, right?
I'm a 10.
Right. Okay. And the value of this conversation really is washing all over me, because I keep thinking all the things through the years that I have said that might be totally inappropriate in terms of your observation and totally supportive of your observation. And I'm hearing this because I'm re-asking a new educated question,
Well, and that's
which
important.
is
And
why
we're raised
do I
in
need
this
that?
culture, right? So even myself, as a non-binary, gendered or whatever, genderqueer, pansexual, whatever, queer person, I myself find myself having to call out my own bullshit. I was recently reading an article about gay wrestlers, right? Like WWE kind of wrestlers.
Ooh,
And this woman was she said, I'm bisexual and I have slept with women. And my immediate knee-jerk reaction was to go, that ain't no bisexual. You're just a straight girl looking for attention. Even myself, even somebody who has had that same bullshit said to me personally, I still found myself, that knee-jerk reaction was to say what everybody, quote unquote, everybody else in the mainstream ideology says, which is that you're not real.
You know, I'm...
Can I just say something?
Sure.
Truth be told, I'm just going to be real about this. Personally, I think the gays that believe that bisexuality doesn't exist, I personally think that they are offended by bisexuals because they kind of feel like bisexuals are somehow betraying the gay community by liking pussy. Girl, look, get over it. Some people like dick, some people like pussy, some people like both. That's just the way it motherfucking is.
And there's bisexual
Sometimes
cheating
I
on
want
their
Italian,
women.
sometimes
Y'all-
I want Mexican.
Y'all offended
All right.
me.
Would you
Well-
relate that to passing?
Y'all a plug.
Well,
Would you relate that power to like
Right.
passing in terms of other communities?
let's close the
child.
conversation here on
I need some air.
sexuality by saying there is a lot to be discussed.
Yeah.
I think one of the things that we find in the gay community in various different ways is it's an example. Our conversation about all of these different representations in our community is probably representation of some self-hate that we do on ourselves. And as a result, that's something that we need to explore.
self-hate.
And if that is true, and I think it might be true, I think it might be true for me, to be honest with you, that is a value, it's happening out, that we continue to explore it. This is our first opportunity of doing this. It seems to me we have many, many more opportunities to do. I want to end our conversation here, and we're going to say, basically, we're at the end of our show. We hope you've liked It's Happening Out. And as we end our show, I know We end our show frequently because we're hungry as all get out, and we're getting ready to do some pizza, and doing some pizza here just shortly with Jets Pizza, our sponsor, and we're going to have some great Jets Pizza at the end of the show.
Are we going to have pizza?
We are, and we're going to have gluten-free for you.
Woo!
Pussy Willow.
So every time we end our show, we say goodnight. We give the opportunity of the Lions and Tigers here at the table to say goodnight, and we're going to do that by starting with Power this week.
Good night, children. And I just want to say that the importance of this show is, that we have the platform that we have, and the right and the liberty that we have, and that we also take for granted, because when you see things like what happened in Eastern Europe, it makes you appreciate the fact that we can come together, we can talk about these issues that impact our community. Also, I'd like to say to my hunky pook, good night. He told me to shout him out somehow.
Hunky
so I'm just
poo.
gonna say,
Words you never thought would come from Power Infiniti.
America, you don't realize that his call out to Hunky Poo is actually Donnie, who calls him Powder indefinitely. That's
Powder keg.
And to my friend Aaron Phoenix.
Good night, bisexuals, pansexuals, polysexuals, omnisexuals, queers, gender fuckers. Good night. We love you. And yes, you are as valid as fuck.
Yeah. All right.
And of course,
my friend Chef Josie.
Of course, my brother here would take that right out of my mouth. Okay, but so I'm just gonna say, well, good night. Back to all the common sense out there. I know it still exists.
Yeah, and my friend Napoleon plays.
Oh, I am your friend. Good night to all you people with celiac, as you whispered to me. Apparently, you don't think that's real either. So, one at a time. One truth at a time.
Wait, and I make special note, even if we disagree with almost every single thing that comes out of his mouth, he's a new host at It's Happening Out, and that is Andrew Brett.
No.
Well, I haven't had the pleasure of meeting Joe Brookman personally, and
we love you, Joe.
And he's going through some really tough times with his family, and I just want to shout out to him. God bless you, God's blessing, and I look forward to seeing you when you come back.
Yeah. And I have to tell you, America, what's on the horizon as we move into the 1 year prior to November 3rd, 2020. Ever heard of it?
I think it's a really important day, America.
USA.
Yeah, that's what you must.
We're going to have some shows, America, where there is a Republican and a Republican sitting on the panel.
He was not pointing to me. Please don't classify me that way.
And we're doing that because it requires two of them to make their point.
To say
and Al, I just want to make one more comment that Power Infiniti is wearing way too much red, and so is Aaron.
You don't own the color.
I am bringing them over to the Trump side.
Yeah. Boo. All right. So, America, that's our show tonight. We thank you very much joining us every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. On Thursdays. And we appreciate you tuning in. We ask you to share us. And when we do the request to share us, it's because we think we're talking about a lot of content that's important to the gay community. If you agree, share it with your friends and let them know. And subscribe and like, etc. America, we constantly tell you, the show is designed, this is episode 45, and it's the last time we're ever going to say 45 in our lives. We tell you constantly, we are deciding in our evaluation of this show, is there gay culture? Cheater. Our entire community is under attack, and under attack because of acceptance. It's a new standard in America, and something new that we have to face. And that means we have to constantly challenge ourselves. Is there still a justification for gay community? Amen. Is there a value in of conversing and talking about things that are important to gay America? We think it is. We think there is. And if it's important to you, remember, America, it's happening out. Good night, America.
Good night. Woo!